Greetings, everybody. This is the August 9th, 2020 episode of the Boxing Source radio show. I'm your host, James Bell, the leader of the Boxing Source on social media. You could follow us on Facebook, going to the Boxing Source. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boxing Source 2. We also have an Instagram page there through the Boxing Source. And we are now simulcast on the Boxing Source YouTube channel. So if you go on the Boxing Source through YouTube, you'll be able to catch us there. Number to dial in is 347-237-5539. Once again, 347-237-5539. Press the 1 key to get on queue, and you'll be able to talk live on the show. We're going to have a few guests on here to speak. So I think we do have our special guests on here on the line currently. So see if I could put them on. Coming from Toledo, Ohio, currently a boxing trainer, but also was a former boxer there from the Ohio area. This should be Mr. Darrie Riley. You're here with us? How you doing there, Coach?
All right, thanks for having me.
Well, I'm doing great. Just wanted to catch up with you, talk about a few things. I had a good friend of mine that's over in Florida right now, Mr. David Winston, tell me about you, and that you are up there in Toledo, Ohio, and was been doing your thing in Toledo for a good little minute, ever since he was like up there before he moved down south. So I wanted to catch you on the podcast here to talk about a few things. Gotcha. Now, just starting out here, coming from Toledo, Ohio, it has like a good boxing history there in Toledo. So kind of like going to your background a little bit and, how you like tie into the history there in Toledo, Ohio with the sport of boxing.
I've been around it for a while. I never boxed when I was a kid, though. I guess was around the sports in different recreation centers. And I got incarcerated, and that's where I started boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like 18 years old, and the dude that really taught me was a guy named Percy Red Johnson. That's where I got it. I teach and coach the same way he did for me. And he's one. I mean, I give due credit to a lot of other people, but that's the guy that really made me want to keep boxing and demonstrate things that he showed me. But like I said, I was incarcerated when I started, and I just took on from there. I come home and I didn't do the things that I'm trying to get these kids to do. However, I stayed. I stayed in the gym. I stayed focused. Had a period of time when I fell off and was frustrated and doing a little madness stuff. But however, I stayed close to the gym, and I just kept teaching and kept teaching. And here I am today, with going through the things that I went through throughout the periods of being surrounded by a lot of boxers, a lot of kids, a lot of parents. But like I say, I love what I'm doing. It's been a rough road, though. It hasn't been easy. There's a lot of ways to go.
I feel you. I feel you. Like you said, you were, kind of, you started out there when you were incarcerated, but you were able to, learn, things in and out in reference to the sport that, got you there to start training. So when did you start becoming a trainer there in the Toledo area?
Well, I boxed until I was almost 50.
Mm. Mm.
I trained. I help kids. I started getting into coaching around mid '80s, late '80s, early '90s, and had several gyms that I ran, and several gyms that I helped. Um, in the '90s, late '90s, early 2000s, I took off. I won a few Golden Glove championships, Toledo Golden Glove championships. Went to the Nationals a few times. I did pretty good. I lost my third fight each trip. Got going probably 97, 98, 96. We got it really going on. I was with a gym called the Bullpen. Oh man, we had some nice guys. Some guys that box right now today out of the Toledo area come to that program still. Dre Ware, one of them. Sonny Fredrickson, Tyler McQuarrie. Yeah, but them all Toledo boxers, and I had a chance to help out, put a little input into what they're doing.
Yeah. So, you were talking about those that are in the Toledo area. Like Tyler McCurry is there, Sonny Fredrickson, was there also. Was a contender there in the sport, and you also, have a couple of fighters there like Albert Bell and Jared Anderson there. Now, I think you were like. And I think you were like, you've been there with them for a good little while, correct?
Yeah. I started Jared off, and I've been around Albert since he's been boxing. Them the main two guys, and the guys that most of my time go with. Jared was brought to me when he was 8 years old. Good story I tell about how a best friend of mine knew his mom, and she went to him and said, "If I got to do something with this dude, my son, he's getting in a lot of trouble, blah blah blah."
Mm-hmm.
And he told her that he had a friend that does boxing, and he told her, "Let me introduce you to him," and that's how it happened. So that's how it happened with Jared Anderson. So brought him to me, and bang, here we are today. Albert Bell, me and his dad boxed together. And we've been around each other, in the gyms, different tournaments, but we stayed around each other.
Mm-hmm.
Albert stayed in the gym, and so I was able to, Dad was, trusted me to help him, trusted in what I knew and how I teach. So far, so good. Albert went 17-0, Jared 5-0.
Yeah, they're doing real well. They were, featured in the cards on ESPN. You had Jared Anderson on there a couple of times. I think like Anderson was on, I think the second card that was over in the bubble in Las Vegas, and then he was brought back again. And yeah, like you said, Albert Bell did have his recent fight there, where he is now 17-0 there in the super featherweight division, and he's there at 6 feet in the super featherweight division. So that's like a real issue to deal with someone 6 feet in that particular weight class.
I gotta praise him because so far he's so good. He's a bad little dude. And the thing that I like about him and Jared is you don't have to ask him or tell him to run or do his exercises or we more so like to, more likely got to tell him to slow down a little bit. So that's a good thing about him. The running part or the conditioning part. So that takes a lot out of off of us. So we can concentrate on, keep elevating them. That's my thing. I just want to keep elevating.
Yeah. So it's like, you see what they're doing in the ring, and even they could be there getting the wins. You could probably see something that they were doing in those rounds to kind of work on to prepare them for the next fight and things like that, so that they, constantly improve after every single fight.
With Jared, he showed a little patience the last fight, and that's what we've been working on him with. Don't be so eager and to calm down and to fight like you practice. And with Albert doing great boxing will do. So for the most part, they listen well. Them preparing for the fight is the key, and preparing for battle. So that's be the main focus with me, the preparing part. So they do that well. We do that well. They, like I said, it's different guys that surround us that helps them to condition their bodies. I can do all that also, but I just want to keep teaching.
Yeah,
got a lot to share.
Gotcha. Now, you did talk about the thing with Jared Anderson and what he was working on in between the fights. You were talking about him kind of being eager there in the ring. When we saw him there against Johnny Langston, he did get the stoppage victory, but it seemed like he was, like you said, was a little bit too eager and was, attacking Langston there without being, patient enough. And that may have opened him up to a few things coming back from Langston. But in his following fight against Hector Perez, he was able to, like you said, stay patient, stay calm, trust his, offense and things like that. And he was able to get, the stoppage victory, halfway through the first round.
Even in this mindset, now don't get me wrong. Now I like the eagerness. I like that effort and his will to go do what it takes to get the job done. I got to moderate it. Be patient with it. So we worked on that. So it showed a little bit in this last fight for the amount of time that it went, which was some positive things that we had talked about and shared with each other. So just keep on pushing and getting ready for the 5th of September.
Oh, that's when his next fight is scheduled?
Yes. September 5th. We hoping to get a 10-rounder, I think.
That'll be a significant jump. I mean, he's been in four fights that were 4-round scheduled bouts, and then one bout that was scheduled for 6. So then, if he gets up there for a 10-round bout, yeah, that's going to be a serious step up there.
Yeah, so we train for 10 and 12. We train for it, say for instance, like this 6-rounder, we train hard for the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Then we put in the extra 4. We put in the extra 4 just in case. But we train for 10.
Yeah, gotcha. Because sometimes, with a lot of fighters, I mean, they could be put in that particular situation within a couple weeks' notice. So even though they've kind of like fought fights that are like 4 rounds or 6 rounds or something like that, they could be called in to fight in a 10-round fight as a replacement for someone that was originally scheduled to be in that 10-round fight, but had to be pulled out. So yeah, training fighters for those things there kind of like gets them ready for anything basically, because you never know when someone could make that call, whether it could be scheduled or, like I said, it could be out of the blue within 2 weeks, where a fighter could step in for a 10-round bout, at any point.
Exactly, we'll be ready for it. To my knowledge, I heard we asked for a couple of top contenders. I don't want to throw them names out, and I heard we was refused. We denied a chance to fight box a few of the guys that we asked for. So,
yeah.
But we got a guy that's in line. I got a text. So hopefully to fight this one guy. I think his name Hernandez. He just stopped it. He just knocked out a guy that was 17-0. Just 8 rounders though.
That was an 8-rounder thing. All right, gotcha. I have to put that in the notes. But I mean, the thing with Jared Anderson being part of that top ranked roster, they do have a good amount of other heavyweights out there, and I know that there was like one other heavyweight that was part of the card that he was in the first series in the bubble, or the first fight that he had over in the bubble in Las Vegas. And Anderson was being talked about alongside this guy. So I'm not sure if he may be a possibility to be Jared Anderson's opponent. But as far as like who could have been out there that could have been turned down, I'll just leave that open for people to interpret on their own there. So you have Jared Anderson scheduled there for September 5th. Albert Bell, like you said, is undefeated, 17-0, super featherweight division. See if we could, put him in position to, be in contention for one of those titles there at super featherweight. I've had a few, guys that have been out there, including the WBO champion, Jamal Herring, that's, part of the, top rank banner as well. But they also have like a few other people that are there that do contend in the super featherweight division. So Albert Bell is a contender for, or is one of the contenders in the WBC rankings, with the champion currently being Miguel Burchelt. So maybe, after a couple fights, you could put Albert Bell in a position to fight for the WBC title.
Yes, we're looking forward to it. We mentioned this kid named Valdez in one of his posts on Facebook.
Yeah.
So whoever this Valdez kid is, I guess he's stalking him. Albert is.
Yeah. Well,
I think with another good 10-rounder, we'd be ready for a world title shot.
Yeah. You got I think it's Oscar Valdez there, who was the former WBO featherweight champion. Moved up to 130. He had a fight over in the bubble recently. Currently they're positioning Valdez to fight Burchell for that WBC super featherweight title. But after that, we'll see if we could get Albert Bell in a position to fight the winner of that fight between those two. Because that would be a fight between the champion and the number one contender. So the winner would have a voluntary defense. So I'd be like, Albert Bell, just keep calling those guys out. Call out the winner of Burchell versus Valdez and say, hey, I'm right here. What's good, and he could get in position to fight for that world title there soon. Seeing that you're also working with a few other fighters there in the Toledo area. So if you could mention those names that you're working with over in Toledo.
I just help out when I can if they need me. But today's the fighters we have here now, I didn't help a lot. I didn't help big coaches a lot. They didn't help me a lot by giving me a chance to share what I have. I mentioned Dre Ware. I always thought Dre was a little bit too big for the way that he's boxing. But he's a good fighter. But I just think he's not in the proper weight. That's my case with him. Other than that, he's good. We have a lot. I like Robert Easter. I think he needs to box a little more.
Mm-hmm.
He's just tools, uses his advantages, his height, his reach, his movement. So I think that's a key thing that I think he needs to work on, and the camp needs to work on. Albert Bell, man, that dude amazes me. He amazes me. His boxing IQ, just amazes me, And Jared, being his age, he is young. I mean, that kid has what it takes to do some special stuff, not to be bragging or anything, but the teaching he's getting. I mean, then he picks it up every little detail that we talk about, that we touch on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's just there at 20 years old.
Man, 20 years old. So he's in Houston right now. So I'll probably be going out that way next week. He's doing the conditioning, stretching the conditioning, and the boxing. So I get out there with him and work on what we got to do with this fight.
Yeah, because they're within, like you said, within 4 weeks from now. So he'll be, like you said, the strength and conditioning, and then just go through the sparring and training and things like that to prepare him for that particular fight. Now, you were talking about Albert Bell and what he's able to do there in the ring at his stature, but you also brought up Robert Easter, and that there is a few things that Robert Easter does have to work on. And I know that I was at one of his fights. I think it was, what was that, like a couple of years ago. He was, there at the Barclays Center, and he fought. It was like Javier Fortuna there at the Barclays Center, and I just felt that like Fortuna was, going in there and outworking them and things like that. And I didn't really see, Robert Easter use his, his height and reach to, try to keep, Fortuna away from him. Like, just keep that jab going. And then if he gets anywhere closer, just, follow in with the right hook or right uppercut. Just make him pay, for coming into the inside. And I feel that, Robert Easter could do a little bit more, in reference to using that, near 6 foot height that he has in that super lightweight division, but like you said, there's a few things that he does have to, work on in reference to that, because he's, 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 draw in the last 3 fights.
Right. And like you said, he can box. But it's just a matter of him being able to box for the duration of the whole bout.
Mm-hmm.
Good fighter. Can't take none away from him. He won a world championship, and fought for the title. But there's little things that I see that he work on to be a little better, to be able to beat the guys that's in his weight that he has to face. But other than that, he has to check box a little more. He's 6 feet something.
Yep, 6 feet.
Long, 82, 83 inch reach, something like that. Shoot. But anyway, I think he'll get the job done next fight.
Yeah, I feel you. Now, seeing here, I got a caller on the line that we probably want to ask a few questions here from the 267 area code. You're on with Coach Darrie Riley.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, you.
Oh, I'm slow motion. Okay. All right, so now you have probably the highest touted prospect in America as far as heavyweight goes. You've had it since the amateurs. Tell me about his development from amateur to pro.
Wow, it was amazing. We worked on and tested on that about 5, 6, 7 months ago about the different levels that we take. Like bringing him up in amateurs, I just tell him, man, it's levels. Now you're a kid. You're 8, 9, 10. Now you're going to be levels in 13, 14, 15. Then it's another level when you're 17, 18, 19 in amateurs. So right now that you're professional, it's a bigger jump. It's a bigger level. So, and the progress so far so good. We got away from a lot of the pity pats. The amateur way we train. But we still got a little ways to go. Like I said, still we're learning the process. We're still learning. I'm still teaching. But I'm pleased with our level of competing. With only 5 fights, despite the opponent's level, despite what they brought, we still gotta do what it takes to get the job done. The things that we do in the gym, and like I was sharing earlier, he's a great student. Both of them. But Jared's a great student. Like I have to worry about him doing too much. That's the key about him. I have to tell him to slow down, man, just a little bit at a time. Just not too much. Certain days and certain weeks and certain months that we go full blast, but for the most part, I'm pleased with his development and where we at right now.
How many fights are you slated to have for the rest of 2020?
depends on the how the bouts go. We can get him out of there in one round, and we take 3 more fights. If they all come in one round, I'm just saying. I mean, you been getting them out of there fast. Right. You know, this fight before this one, this last fight before it, I had mentioned to Jared, you gotta just be patient, man. Let's get a couple of rounds. I mean, if you see the shot, take the shot. Don't pass up getting him out of there. But let's see your little boxing skills a little bit. But this show that you can box and show that you got skills, as opposed to trying to get him out of there early. But when I saw the guy was a grown man, a 30-year-old grown man. He weighed 218 at the weigh-in. But I looked at him, I was like, dang, he's fully developed. So I had to change. I said, Jared, we're gonna change that plan. That guy look kind of strong. He got grown man strength. I said, get him out of there, man. I said, he's gonna be tough. He's a tough guy. I said, but get this dude out of there. Don't try to lay around and let it go. So he did what he did and got him out in the 3rd round. But he took some shots that he shouldn't have took in a couple of fights. He got to work on some, like I said earlier, got to work on his eagerness and his drive to just to do better and to be aggressive.
Now, everybody kind of sees where this is going with Jared Anderson and possibly Daniel Dubois seeing each other down, in a future bout. Did they ever fight in the amateurs or spar at all?
What was the name you just said?
Daniel Dubois.
I can't remember. I remember a Daniel. I can't remember the last name. I don't remember if they ever fought or not. I don't know. I can't say. I don't know if they sparred or not before. That name doesn't ring a bell. The last name, but Daniel. I remember some Daniels that he worked out with at the Olympic Training Center.
Mm.
What part of the UK is Dave Dubois from, JR?
I think that's through. I think he's there in the London area, but it's like Greenwich though, in London.
Was that guy in the camp with Tyson Fury? The Daniel guy?
I don't know.
No, I don't think I haven't heard Dubois being in Fury's camp. In the past, but maybe I could check that out or something like that. Think I have another caller in here from the 646 area code. Apparently, this guy is the president of the Deontay Wilder fan club. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, it's off and on, but he's on with us right now. Mr. Matthew Brown here. You're with Coach Darrie Riley. What's going on?
I was listening to just so you guys know, yes, Daniel Dubois did spar with Tyson Fury. That is correct. And of course, you were correct, JR. Daniel Dubois is from the Greenwich area in the UK.
Is he the one that he was in? Excuse me, was he in the camp with Fury to get ready for Wilder?
He was with Fury, I want to say late 2019. So yes, that would be the camp where he fought Wilder.
Yeah, we never starred him. They never starred each other. No. Jared never starred him.
But Jared Anderson, what's up with him? What is he like? How quickly is he looking to move? Because he's already out here talking spicy with his Big Baby nickname. So, like, what is this kid trying to do with his career?
We try to get to the level. We try to get to world championship status. Our dream and our goal is to fight and to be heavyweight champion of the world. And whatever the process we have to go through to get to that goal. That's the goal.
Now, what kind of timeline are you looking at?
Somebody of stature made a comment. They wanted to redo history. The guy told Jerry, he said, I took a guy that had 7 pro fights, and he won heavyweight championship of the world. I said, that was Leon Spinks. And Muhammad Ali said, yeah. See, I can make that happen. But the pandemic might have messed that up, though.
Oh, those lofty goals, man. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the lofty goals, but is Jared Anderson really ready for that kind of pressure? And I know obviously you're going to say yes because you're associated with him, but in your heart of hearts, do you feel Jared Anderson is someone who should be fast-tracked to contender status?
Personally, yeah, I think 2, maybe 3 more fights at the most, 10 rounders. I think we'll be better. I really we was getting good sparring. I know the competition has to be a little more stiffer. A little stiff. But I think what we're doing and the road we're on, the path we're going, I think we're on the right path to get to that point in soon date time. I think Jared will be ready for it. Whatever they put in front of us right now. I heard that somebody reached out to me. That ready to fight that boy. Some boy named Take'em. Heavyweight named Take'em. I saw him fight a couple. Yeah, I thought I saw him fight a couple weeks ago.
Carlos Take'em.
Yeah, we like that. Yeah, I think we like him or just a few more out there. Like I said, I don't want to call out names. Start no mess, but
right.
That's the boxing.
I mean, there is a good amount of heavyweights that are under top rank there. So, Take'em did have his win recently on the top rank card. Was a couple weeks ago. So he might be there as a potential opponent. So that might be something there for Jared Anderson as a step out bout, like a 10-round bout there for Jared Anderson. For him to have, as Carlos Takam was a world title contender, former IBF mandatory challenger to Anthony Joshua. So he would be somebody that could give some good work for Jared Anderson. But Jared Anderson would have a good learning experience for fighting somebody the likes of a Carlos Takam.
Right. So far, so good. I like our chances. Whatever they bring up, whatever they choose to do, Bob Arum and Jake Prince, whatever they choose to do, I'm confident in taking on the challenges, whatever they put in front of us.
Yeah, because
Top Rank has another heavyweight, right? They have another heavyweight they grew is from my city, South Philadelphia, Sonny Conto. Is that a fight that they're heading towards with Jared and Sonny?
As far as I know, I don't do the matchmaking. They just call me and let me know what they got, what they bring up. They get a name, they call me and say, hey, how this guy sound? This is what we got on this guy. And so far, everything they've been put in front of us, I didn't accept it. We have accepted it. So whatever the matchmaker say, I mean, I'm pretty sure that we can do what we do to overcome whatever they put in front of us at this moment.
Yeah.
They had threw a few names at us, but we had asked for a few names, so we got denied so far. So.
What is the process with that? They give you like a list of 5 names, and you have final say, or does the manager have final say?
Well, they asked me, being that I'm the head coach, head trainer, they asked me, what do you think about this guy? Then I asked them what they think about it. So right? And so I have a look at them, and so far I've been good with everybody. Like I said, they got another guy coming up. I think his last name is Hernandez. For the 5th of September.
Okay. So, yeah. Probably look up, something there under that, because I know that they had another prospect that was on the card. I think it was Guido Vianello was the name, and they were talking about him alongside Jared Anderson because they were on the same card there at the bubble. A couple of weeks ago or June 9th. So. That was a couple months ago, pretty much almost to the day. Both of those guys run that same card, and they had those stoppage victories there. So they were kind of like talking about Anderson and Vianello possibly being put together in a fight later on down the line, but not sure if that was part of it. Matt, you there? Still there with us over in the New York?
Don't mind the wagon party. I don't know. My neighbors are studying. I know all you want to hear.
I don't know. I don't know if it was merengue going down or some reggaeton or what. That was my guess. Oh no! Oh no!
Down, thankfully, so hope that they can speak tonight. I guess we'll see. Coach, is there any truth to the rumor that Jared Anderson likes Big Baby's drug test so he could just take over the Big Baby nickname?
They would have to change Jarrell Miller's name to Big Q.
Well, right. Right. They introduced us to him. But Jared wanted to he got that tatted all over his body with the Big Baby.
Oh man.
They got a guy coming up in September that he's fighting. Hernandez. How familiar are you with him? Have you seen tape on him yet? And
he just sent me. Okay. They sent me a clipping of his last fight. The guy, the African guy. About 6'4", 6'5". We was undefeated, 17-18-0. Hernandez, I think he might have had a loss, or I didn't really look at his record. but he stopped the guy, caught him with a nice level. Second or third round. I didn't get to see.
You're talking about Bobby Hernandez, the one that fought for Cody. What's his name? That's Bobby Hernandez. He fought Martin Bacone in his last fight. He got knocked out in the second round. And then before that, he had fought the Wetchfeld.
Oh yeah.
I know that's what you're talking about. Oh.
Yeah, we asked him. I guess that's the name in the clip they sent me as a possible next opponent.
Oh, Anderson, he better beat up on that guy. That guy, he's not that good, man. He better beat up on him. You know, I always tell
Hernandez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always tell my guys they are. Huh?
The one that lost to Michael Hunter?
He fought Kalnacki. Yeah, Hunter, Kalnacki, Kuzmin. Yeah, Jogba. He lost to all those guys. Yep.
Well, listen, Coach, as I tell my guys, they are every time. When you got somebody in the ring that don't belong in there with you, I need to see Big Baby get him the hell up out that ring. I don't want this guy to go the distance. You better get him up out of it. I'm not too impressed with people that can't get people out of there when they don't belong in the ring with you.
Right.
So I'm hoping to see big things for this kid if we're looking to fast track him to contender status. Because although Takam is up there in age, Takam is still pretty good.
Right. Yes, he is. Yes. We just want somebody up there. They mentioned that guy. I mean, him and Aquino, they follow the same card. And we was trying to get some work. We need some work. It's hard getting that sponsor here right now. But they told me that in the beginning, Tony mentioned, man, the way this guy is going, said, he's going to pay guys to get that work like that. And I'm like, yeah, for real. And I'm seeing it now. Trying for them to get some sparring. But he's down there in Houston now. They say he's doing some sparring down there in Houston.
So now, besides obviously taking care of business in the ring, what is Jarrett gonna do to boost his profile and notoriety, basically to build himself into a star?
Well, we talked about what if boxing doesn't work or what's after boxing and things of that nature. He has a couple of buddies over here that they started designer, making designer t-shirts and designer clothes. Talking about how long does he think that he'll be boxing, and we can't dictate what the future holds for us. However, we can plan and hope and wish that things go out and pan out like we dream about and that we bring up. Jared is pretty much got his head on his shoulders. Pretty much know what he wants, what he has to do to achieve it. The necessary steps it takes right now, and I'm kind of careful with him, but he knows they don't want to go the route that I tell him that I went. I wasn't on it. I didn't listen like I'm telling him to listen. I didn't listen to my guy. He's always said, Darrie, Coach, Darrie, you can be good, man. You can be better than good, man. You just got to give up the things you don't want to give up. So that was the main thing that he always tell me. You have to give up the things you don't want to give up. So, and still that is Jared.
Mm-hmm.
Giving up the things you don't want to give up. Hanging out with the buddies, the time, the party, and the glamour. I mean, right now, you got to give all that up. So that's what I'm pursuing more so than anything. To having to miss out on a lot of things that kids of age that they have fun in. Like, so far so good.
True that. Now, where is it that you kind of like mainly do your training that over in Toledo, Ohio?
I didn't get that. I didn't get what you said.
No, what I was saying was like where do you kind of like hold most of your training at in Toledo, Ohio?
They have several gyms here. We work out at a gym. It's called Central City.
Hmm.
It's up in a park called City Park. And the head coach there, the head guy is Mr. Bill Griffin. And he lets me and Andy Bell, Albert Bell's dad. He let us train in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have some 3 to 5 the pros come in, some 3 to 4:30 the pros come in, and from 5 to 7 the amateurs come in.
Mm-hmm.
Monday through Friday. So I'll be having. Well, we be having Jared, Albert, and Bunny in the gym at the same time. But every now and then, Dre Ware and somebody comes when they can. Dre has a job, so he's a fireman also. So his schedule is flexible. He'll come in. But anyway, then we have close to 15, 20 amateurs, girls and guys, ages from 8 to 30. So, but that's every day, City Park, Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 for the amateurs. For the pros, it's from 3 to 4:35.
Yeah, it's
like 4 or 5 other gyms around the area though.
Yeah. Let me see if I have another caller in here from the 813 area code. You're here with Coach Darrie Riley here on the Boxing Source. What's good?
All right, what's going on? I can barely.
Hey, T, you barely hear you.
How about now?
Yeah, that's good.
I can hear you now, yes.
Yeah. I just all I think is it's always great to hear about the trials, tribulations, and the journey of a boxer. From inception at an early age, even like I said, in regards to that, when you work a job, and to the point where you get to the point where you can train full time, and there's a very small percentage of professional boxers that can actually train full time without having to work. Because the thing about it, there's this big thing called life that we all live day by day, and a very small amount of people actually make it to the big time that can get the contracts and things like that, the fights and the income to sustain themselves without having to work a full-time job. To that point, but just no questions at this point, but just once again, just glad to hear about the progression of a boxer, the dedication that it takes, eliminating things out of your life in order to hopefully get to that top echelon to where you won't have to work a full-time job, things like that, to support yourself. But thanks for all what you're doing.
We talk about I always hear it's not easy. nothing is really easy. You think it in life, but I often share. This is hard. It's tough. You know, you have to have a certain attitude. To me, that's my view of a fighter. That's just sincere. You have to have an attitude to a will to win and a will not to lose. So I preach having that. Then I'm like old school. I go back to the Ali days, like Archie Moore and Rocky Marciano. And I like to have that look at them film. I like the attitude. They had mean. Them guys was mean, man. And I like to quote them. Jubilee Brown always say, Mondini, you got Cassius, you got to be racehorse lean and bingo tiger mean. And I stick with that. I believe that, you know. So I touch on being tough, mean, you know, still being a gentleman. I mean, still keeping them within the rules of the boxing. You know, then a lot of people watch. A lot of these kids, they watch Floyd and they watch like Margarito. You know, we be showing him, and they be like, Coach, that dude smoking everything. Maybe there's attitude, Coach. He getting after the bell. And why he butt? Why such butt? Floyd. I say, yeah, I try to tell them everything is included in boxing until you get caught.
Yeah.
They bite in boxing. If you don't get caught, it's illegal. I mean, it works. Elbows, knees, headbutts, you know, all in boxing until you get caught. So
that's true.
So I often tell them, I always tell my kids or the fighters that I train or help train, if a referee don't tell you to protect yourself at all times, you tell me, I'm going to get that referee out of there. That's the main thing, y'all. The number one rule in boxing, protect yourself at all times. That's literally. So I preach that, and I try to instill that in them, you know, to protect yourself at all times. On breaks, on clinches, on talking to, I mean, whatever the case is. But anyway, back to that. So the attitude that they have towards wanting to be successful in this sport, I mean, they have to change a lot of stuff. I get a lot of parents bring their kids to me. Yeah. And like my son's soft, my daughter's crybaby, blah blah blah. Can you help him with this? Can you help him with that? Right? And I get that often.
Mm-hmm.
So start off with a lot of kids in the gym. And like I always tell the parents, don't go buy shoes and wraps and mouthpieces. Let's see if they want to stay, because it's not an easy sport.
Nope, it's not.
You know, and a lot of them don't. Stay. And I say to parents, a lot of money. You know, they go buy shoes and this and that outfit, and then they kids might stay 2-3 months and it's over with.
Yep.
You know, it's that long.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, like Jav Judah told me years ago, you don't play boxing. So if you want to get into this thing, and you got to be in it for the long haul, because that's how long it takes for you to be successful. I got like another one from the 813 area code 51. You're here with Coach Darrie Riley.
Hello?
Yeah, you're here with Coach Darrie Riley. What's you have a question for a coach?
I just I got your tweet, so I just called dialed in.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see that you answered a particular call out. So I guess I'm glad that you answered the call. In reference to that, we might have to go into the technicals of that a little bit later. Oh no. Oh no! Here we go, man. Here we go. But coach, like, is there anything else here that you wanted to bring up in reference to your fighters coming up with like Jared and Albert Bell and the like?
Yeah, we just preparing for the next September 5th for Jared Anderson. We don't know about Albert Bell yet. I think Dre Ware fights September 5th also. So just the dates and times and the whereabouts where we fight at, just staying focused, trying to keep them prepared, keep them focused. Basically, just staying active. Like I said, Jared is in Houston right now for conditioning, strength and conditioning, and sparring, and right. And so I'll be out there with him for a couple of weeks, and then we go to Vegas for the fight. But other than that, I just tell the kids that conditioning is the number one tool for boxing and any sport, really, conditioning. Right? You're doing whatever it takes to get the job done. I mean, sacrificing, and that's another thing I often talk about: sacrificing, giving up, like giving up to what you don't want to give up. That's key to me. Certain foods and diets and things to do, what not to do, when to do stuff, when not to do stuff. Is very important. But other than that, just doing what it takes. And that's all I had to share. Like I said, I can't say it no better. Doing what it takes to get the job done.
Yeah, I feel you there. I feel you. So we'll be, catching you and your fighters here in action, like you said, with Jared Anderson on September 5th. And we'll be just being on the lookout for all of that. So I'm glad for you to join us here. And we look forward to getting back with you here in the near future.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you a lot. I'm glad I can help if I can help.
All right, no problem there, no problem. All right, folks, that is Coach. That was Coach Darrie Riley. They're joining us, talking about training the likes of Jared Anderson, Albert Bell, and those in the Toledo area. So thank him very much for being on here with us. Now we're going to move on to next part of the show. Wanted to talk about some action there that took place yesterday, but supposedly we're in the quote unquote gossip section of the show. So 646, I hear that there was some type of call out being made on social media. So could you go into that a little bit, please?
I saw that he was looking real spicy on boxing Twitter and was ruffling a few feathers about women's boxing, and women's boxing is the new wave, and it turned into some. Listen, I just want to hear from the woman herself, KO, Nika Belly, aka the face of boxing Twitter. So, first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really good. I didn't know that little video was gonna spark up like so much tension on Twitter. I literally haven't even edited any of my YouTube video. I just posted that on Twitter, and this one girl on there really got in her feelings. So I'm on her ass right now. Like, I don't know if she's like a amateur boxer or whatever, but she's really in her feelings, and I'm gonna be on all night. But yeah, she's gonna get you stuck with it.
But what was
Wait a minute. Hey, this sounds like a little New York type of Wait a minute now. So we got a New Yorker with the 813 area code. Oh no, this is trouble. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, you were like, don't tell me you were like East Tampa or something. Because if you were in East Tampa, then that's that'll be a problem. Oh, you were down by McDill. Oh, okay. Oh, so you were one of them. You were one of them uppity chick. No, I'm just. Okay, okay, that's what it was.
I got to know you guys doing well tonight. I didn't really know that. I'm not even a boxer, y'all. I'm just like a fake YouTuber on the side when I'm.
He said, "Okay, wait a minute."
When I have time, I just like to do some, and I just put like a little clip on Twitter about boxing being the new wave, and this girl who's pregnant. I think she's like an amateur boxer or something. She actually was arguing with, Heavy Hitter Fever last night on Twitter. And I didn't even jump in. I just let them rep her. Today she still wants more pressure. I don't even know what that's about, but I'm gonna let her have it.
Wait, she was messing with Fred, Sean? Oh no.
So she let her have it, but today she still wants attention. I guess she should jump on my video, talk shit. That was the worst decision she made for the day. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Now let's look at our mental
I just had to, get this person on here for a bit, but wanted to talk about, action that was going down. So speaking of women's boxing, did you see anything from the fight on Friday?
Of course, I did.
Plantation.
Yes, because
As the fellow would call it, the natural plantation.
The natural plantation.
it's a beautiful backyard, but I get some plantation vibes too. I ain't gonna lie. I get some plantation vibes. I don't like it at all. What do they call it? The fight camp?
Yeah, natural fight camp.
Y'all not fooling nobody. Y'all are not fooling nobody.
I know his neighbors must be pissed off when the fireworks are going on.
Hey, I don't know. Maybe he got some type of permits or something. I have no idea, man. Like because that thing was like going off. It's for a month. It's for a whole month, so they're gonna have to deal with this. Yeah, backyard fights.
On the actual fight between Terry Harper and Natasha Jonas.
Like I kind of think that my thoughts were they were gonna call it a draw if it went Jonas's way the whole entire night. I just knew that it was gonna be called a draw no matter what. I felt like Jonas won, but the UK fans are always gonna go for Terry Harper, and I feel like I understand now why she was ducking or she doesn't want to fight Michaela Mayer, because if she couldn't even handle Jonas, there's no way that Michaela Mayer would be any easier for her. So, that's my opinion on that. And like the commentators on that fight, they definitely had a favorite. Like the whole entire fight, they were just like going for Terry Harper, but then they couldn't. It pained them to even speak good on Jonas, but they had no other choice because she rocked her in the thing, you know.
Right.
And they had to say, oh, you know.
Oh, that's a good rant right here. Yeah, because I feel that Jonas outworked Terry Harper here in this one, and I felt that she should have got that win, but they wanted to treat Terry Harper like they kind of treat Katie Taylor in some cases. So, but I don't think she's gonna end up fighting Michaela Mayer either, because they just signed Eva, so they're trying to make that unification fight first. They go.
When they signed her, they had it with the intention for her to fight the winner of this Harper and Jonas, but the WBO stepped in and it was like, we got this fight for Mayor.
Yeah.
Number 5, Too much dip on your chest. So.
Yeah. So they were trying to pull a fast one right there, but they were like, nah, we can't quite do that. Now we got, next thing that's coming up is Breakus McCaskill. And I'm like, hey, McCaskill, I feel like McCaskill's gonna come through. It's gonna give her. No, she won't. So
I just feel like, I don't know, this is just my personal opinion. I feel like fights should really be set up in brackets, and you just can't. You have no way to avoid them. You have to fight these fighters in brackets. I don't like the Super 6 tournament type thing, because the fights that we want never happen because people have the option of like going another direction. But if you put it in a bracket form, then you gotta fight these people, That's just me.
Yeah, but it also requires cooperation with promoters, and they ain't gonna be down for all that. So. Well, women's boxing is, I know.
Are you telling me that Eddie earned all the money that he got, that he can't buy women's boxing, basically? I mean,
no, because if women won't have them run boxing like UFC, because if that was the case, they'd be paid even less than they are being paid right now. And we already see what Cecilia Braekhus said on Twitter about getting paid. So she wants $2 million.
I don't care nothing about that fight. I don't care that she's fighting she's supposed to. I don't care nothing about this until she fights.
Wait, so you don't care about Cecilia Braekhus until she fights Clarissa Shields, and you don't want to hear about Clarissa Shields until she gets on the Boxing Source radio show. You sure that you liking women's boxing right now?
Because a lot of female fighters are not doing a lot of press and pub. Like, you gotta get yourself out of there. Like how is it a lot of these men, except for Thomas Crawford, but we won't get into that right now. A lot of these male boxers, you see them doing all this press and stuff. You see the PDC podcast. You see the live at home with Ray Flores. You had Gary Russell on the show last week. You had Bomac on the show. You see all these trainers, everybody doing pubs, except for the big women, like Clarissa Shields. Why is she too good to do the show?
Well, real quick, the sad thing about sense of women's boxing, like I agree with you, man, because I would love to see Breakus fight Clarissa Shields. But the thing about these guys, you got some of these women fighters that have been champions for so long, and they get us in a sense comfortable. Now, I get it. Boxers at the same time, they're not getting that same type of revenue that the men get. You can argue either way that's justifiable because it's great to revenue to watch they get the top they get. But at the bottom line, they should get paid for. I get that. But look at last year when Fletcher Shields beat the crap out of Christina Hammer. You ain't heard not one thing from Hammer's concerned. And Lita Breakless knows that book was coming, and she don't want no punch that because she can make her a steady amount of income, keep those belts, and even though with the fight with Jessica, that might be going up. You never know. But she don't want no smoke versus Shields. Because she
She doesn't even acknowledge her when she tweets her online. She doesn't acknowledge her at all. It's crazy. That's why I feel like if there was brackets, you have no way to like anybody. You just have to fight with people. If you wanna make money, you want the belt, you gotta follow the brackets.
Yeah. Yeah, but it just doesn't seem like that's happening in women's boxing now.
You should show up and talk, run up on her.
Yeah, like kind of like some.
Yeah, run up on her.
Let's go, champ.
Yeah, Shannon the Cannon. Yeah, let's go, champ. Anywhere you go, I go. Make a way, make a way.
But that's the card that went on in California, your Fox.
Yes. I caught them all, like the one on Fox and then the one on FS1, that's the Sports 1. Because it was like almost like 6 hours of boxing last night. So what do you guys think about the card, like for the judging of the card for Michael Fox and Santa Maria? Like I see a lot of people online really upset about the judging on that fight. Do you think that Fox won that fight even though he was knocked down? But I felt like the rounds after that he kind of like picked it up. But I don't know if it was. If it was like they only gave him I don't think he won, but I don't think that he only got one round. They gave him like one round on the card. It's just like I think he had more than one round.
Yeah, but I don't care about judging scores as long as they get the fight right and the right fighter was. Plus, Michael Fox doesn't follow me on Twitter, so fuck it.
Wait a minute. Yo, he tried to get Michael on the show, man. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna do it that soon. Yo.
Until I saw him on the show last night. And I was like, oh, yeah. This guy's an actual fighter. I thought he just be talking shit.
And, yo, what was it? A couple years ago, I interviewed his brother, man, Alante Fox, but that was like he was fighting in some small card over in like Bowie, Maryland or something. This was after he fought Boo Boo Andrade. So I don't know, man. Like Fox is supposed to Alante's Fox is supposed to be, a contender for the super middleweight title, but yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, Liam Williams did beat him, so yeah, he might be he might be out of it now, yo.
I'm not even mad at you. I'm not even mad at that.
What you said in what was it, the color purple to your arm? Until you do right
Oh, that was crazy. But yo, main event though, man. I I said before that fight between James and Delorme that it was going to be a tough fight for Jamal James, and we had to work a little bit, to get that win, but still, I mean, I wasn't all too impressed with the DeBarge guy. I mean, Jamal James. See, that's the type of stuff that makes me get denied from getting press passes.
But you know what? It's part of the sport. Like, everybody's not going to be a fan of you. You still got to do this people that are not, like, rooting for you.
I mean,
you already know I'm not high Jamal James, because I hate his haircut too, man. His wig piece fucks me up.
Yo, it's like either that or, like I said, yeah, but he's fighting. Yeah, that's the thing too.
What do y'all think about the PvP fights rollout, like the remaining fights and things announced last night?
That was trash.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we were disappointed. We were like all hyped. We were all hyped. Folks was hyped for the Showtime rollout. We were like looking forward to seeing what they would have on Fox, and then they ain't show nothing. I was like, some of the stuff we already knew about, like the thing with Errol Spence and Garcia, we knew about. The thing with Sean Porter, we knew about. But the other stuff, we were like, this ain't nothing, man. Isn't he like related to like one of the like a matchmaker or something?
I mean, people online to have the same energy about it, like, because if that was outweighed ESPN, they would be killing them right now. But right now, it's just like, oh, okay.
No, listen, it deserves to be killed.
No, I understand that the fights were not like, in the air like that for everybody to be loving. But when PvP wrote out the stuff last night, I didn't see the same energy. They would have been, if that was ESPN, because I'm just an observer, they would have called these guys cab drivers, all types of stuff, like really disrespectful stuff. So, just wanting to see how people were dismissing.
Actually be a cab driver.
Nobody's calling it out. Nobody's calling it out, though. But that's the thing. You got to keep the same energy for everybody.
Not me. I don't keep the same energy because I can't stand box rank. Because you know what? How the hell?
But why don't you just be a fan of boxing? I don't care who they fight for.
So you an NBA fan? And I can't root for the Knicks. I gotta root for the Celtics equally. No, I'm gonna root for my damn team.
No, that's
my team.
That's not comparing the thing.
No, oh man, you should be a fan of fighters, not a fan of the whole promotional company.
I got to root for one of them little Russian chicks. Hell no.
That's the same thing. What are you reaching? You are so reaching right now.
I fly because PvP consistently puts on the best fight. Don't disrespect their fighters the way Top Rank does. Top Rank.
Nah, it's Golden Boy that disrespects their fighters.
So I'm gonna bring it up. How can we promote Shakur?
Oh, that. Oh, yeah.
Why not a black fighter guy got to be promoted as a villain in order for you to make him a fighter?
Okay, so my thing is on that. Like, if you think you have your reasons to feel that way, but Shakur Stevenson is a grown ass man. If he he doesn't feel like he's being treated right in that promotional company, he has the right to make a move, no?
Hey, he got that contract.
All right.
Look what they're doing to my boy Tio. Okay? Look at what they're doing to my boy Teofimo Lopez.
Free Teofimo.
Under the bus. These guys didn't even make a fucking offer for him to fight.
But you know, this is
Damn.
a pandemic. It's a pandemic going on. There's no fucking revenue coming through the gate.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
So you know what? They need to just play a super class.
Nah, hold on. Here's the thing with Teofimo Lopez, right? Here's the thing with Teofimo Lopez. Everybody knew that Lopez was fighting Lomachenko ever since December. They had not made any offer to Teofimo Lopez before this whole pandemic thing went down. They were supposed to, like everybody was saying, oh, they're going to fight in April. They're going to fight in April. They never made an offer. Never.
So why didn't they come over to July? We heard that the fight was going to be in March. That it was going to be in April. That it was going to be in May. That it was going to be in September. That was going to be in
Well,
October.
this pandemic thing started around February, March. You do know that, right?
It started the lockdowns.
Because they didn't know what was going to happen. Like, we were up in the area. I work in a hospital, so I've been like on way back in quarantine since like January, February. So I understand that there's no revenue coming in, and you know the big time promotions and hospitals and stuff. They get all that information first before the public does.
Yeah, but here's the thing with people Lopez. You're telling me that the biggest fight, the biggest in-house fight that Top Rank can make is only worth $5.5 million to them.
Yeah, right now, yeah. Right now, yes. Right now, yes.
You got to take your own advice and keep that same energy.
I am keeping it right now. There's no freaking revenue coming in. That's why I'm like, why is Al Heyman rolling out pay-per-view fights? Like, we have a fucking pandemic. I don't want to take no fucking.
People got to get paid.
Yeah, but no. You want us to pay 3 or 4 pay-per-views for Al Heyman? Y'all already.
So you're not gonna watch the Charlo doubleheader?
Because I'm not watching IS, but I don't think that's not amazing. No, but there's not that many. There's so many casual fans. They're not gonna pay for those fights. Like those casual fans usually chime into pay-per-view for big fights like big names like Mayweather. They're not gonna chime into a Charlo fight. I'm sorry, that's my opinion on it.
Hey, we'll see. But what Top Rank should do is put the fight on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Okay? If you put the fight on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, you can pay Teofimo his $2 million, because all he's asking for is $2 million. That's not a lot in the grand scheme of things. You can pay Lomachenko his $3.5 million guarantee. Okay? And you only have to do $125,000 to break even. I don't think
that fight will make that kind of stuff because I really don't. The viewership from casual fans, they don't know those names.
Then that fight is not as big as people say. Then Bob Allen is shit for the last.
No, he's being tactical because he knows that fight is not.
And I don't think that this fight is gonna have that many pay-per-view buys. I don't know. I don't even understand what people are talking about. This is not that big of a fight as people may think. My goodness, god damn.
Oh my god, I can't believe this. Boy, if that fight can't do 120K pay-per-view buys on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, then they don't even have to fight at all. I don't really care. Bring on Lomachenko versus Verdejo, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the backup fight. Yeah, that's the backup fight.
But man, what is this thing here? Man, they got like a whole bunch of these PBC fight nights on Fox Sports 1. Like they trying to have like one every other week or something, you know what I'm saying? Like yeah. Something like that. Yeah, because they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's like 10 on FS1.
And then you have the Showtime schedule. Well, what they do in that top rank? That's what I need to know. Okay.
But you already said that you don't like top rank, and I just feel like
that doesn't mean I'm not gonna watch the fight.
Well, I don't care about those. I don't care about the promotion. I just was playing today, and I was just like, yo, they could be fighting on Disney Channel. I'm still gonna watch the fight. Like it's not that serious. On Facebook, I got into it with a PBC fanatic. Like, oh my god, they really take. I don't understand the obsession with it. I mean, he called this dude I was arguing with. He called me an old ass bitch because I was like, because I didn't like go into
he called you an
old ass bitch. Yes, an old ass bitch. I'm like, damn, nigga, you really in your fucking feelings that hard? How can you call me an old ass bitch? Like, are you serious?
Wow.
You have to understand something. When PBC first came into existence, a lot of boxing fans, a lot of boxing media, and a lot of people within the sport of boxing would shit on PBC every chance they got. The only black-owned business in boxing, they would shit on every single chance they got. So forgive me. For everybody that's
Who owns PBC though? Who owns PBC? I don't even know who owns PBC.
Oh no. Oh yes he does. It's really called aiming boxing. It's
yeah.
Shit. Okay? just because he put their money don't mean that they own it. And that's why everybody's mad. They're like, oh,
I'm not mad about that because I don't really care about that. I'm not mad about that. Like I enjoy PBC fighting. Like that type of stuff doesn't concern me. I like the fights but like when I see people like PBC disrespect.
Who puts on the best fight? Who puts on the best cards?
It's like right now PBC does. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Like that's not the only network. Like when the pandemic started, we didn't have PBC didn't come out first with fights. Like I was so happy that Top Rank came out and aired fights, and people were
and because of that, we had to deal with Tim Bradley's obvious comments. Yeah, Dre, he's throwing punches. Wait, time out. So who would you rather have? Tim Bradley or Paulie Malignaggi? Yeah, the fire Paulie.
Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez for PBC fighters. Do you think that Al Haymon would let $800,000 get in the way of taking this fight?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't know that he would. I don't know that. I don't know that. I'm being honest. I don't know that. Because
he'll take away from the salary of Tim Smith to make that fight. No, I'm just saying.
So, like, no, I don't know.
But here's the thing. It's only $800,000. You're telling me Bob Arum, who's been in boxing since boxing started, is he gonna be in the soup kitchen looking for handouts? $800,000, Bob. Please make the fucking
man.
You know, if you run a business, you can't let the fighters dictate things.
But why?
What?
Why at this fight? Why at this particular fight is people on the line? That is what makes me suspicious that they don't really want this fight. Why this particular fight?
No, I
He should.
want the fight.
I don't think Loma wants it.
But you're not gonna dictate his business, you know.
I need to get.
But like you're saying, I know I'm sure that Al Heyman would pull back because Al Heyman's first love is music. He don't really give a fuck about the boxing stuff. I'm sorry. He's really
Hey, listen. But here's the thing. You see, at 154, all their guys are facing off. At 147, all their guys are facing off. At 122, all their guys are facing off. Whenever Al Heyman has guys in the same
there's a lot of fighters right now for PBC don't have any fights announced, and they're looking crazy because they were waiting just like us to see if they were gonna get a fight last night. They were waiting for this announcement last night. Like J-Rock still waiting for a fight. You know, there's a lot of people still waiting for fights.
We know J-Rock's gonna be fighting.
Yeah, we know.
When?
I can tell you who J-Rock is probably gonna fight.
They know probably. Tell me when he's going to fight. Because they pull out the schedule yesterday. What is he gonna fight?
He's gonna get one of these box dates, and I think he's gonna fight Dennis Hogan.
When?
He's gonna fight in the fall.
He's gonna fight one of them Fox Sports 1 cards.
Marcus Brown? When is he gonna fight?
Hey, listen, Marcus Brown can stop stalking his baby mom.
Yeah.
His baby mama. I don't want to hear from Marcus Brown.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear from him either.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what Marcus Brown's gonna fight.
No,
I wanna know when I want to know when your boy fights again, Pascal, so that he could talk shit about 50 Cent again.
I love Pascal, man. Like, oh, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
That was the funniest. That was one of the funniest things I've seen, man. That was funny as hell.
I mean, he wants to fight him. Devin Haney wants to fight him.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Hey, listen. Backpedaling from what?
I thought she was attacking your family member right now, JR.
Okay.
Because first he was saying that he broke his jaw. Then if you look at his videos, after that he just said that he punched him in the face. Like all the people that he thought would co-sign his story didn't co-sign his story the way he wanted them to. Like Mark Davis said that the sucker punch happened, but he didn't break his jaw or do any of that.
It wasn't no sucker punch.
There wasn't no sucker punch. That's number one. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to this thing about Devin Haney. First of all, Devin Haney was the one that called out Gary Russell on Twitter or social media. And one, we know that Gary Russell Jr. really don't be on Twitter that much. But we have someone maybe still on the line that said if Devin Haney doesn't follow through on that call out with Gary Russell Jr., then Devin Haney is a bitch. That is on wax, okay? That's on wax. Now, the previous week, the previous week, after we had Bomac on the show, Gary Russell was on that YouTube thing. And when he was on there, Bill Haney called on the line. And when Bill Haney was talking with Gary, they were saying the stuff about what type of money that Gary would want to fight Devin Haney. And Bill Haney said he's not going to be able to get that money. And I'm like, how? My reasoning is Devin Haney is not that big of a fighter yet, even as a champion. Like, you got somebody on the line here right now that says, wait a minute, how are you going to have Devin Haney that just was a world champion on the undercard of two YouTubers fighting? How is Devin Haney right? But here's the thing. Right.
But I don't think that's against the fact that he still wants to fight Darrie Russell.
But here's the thing. He has to come better than that against somebody that's held a world title for over 5 years. You're talking about a Devin Haney that in one instance had to be put in a main event at MGM National Harbor because Alexander Usyk was injured. And then on the next instance, when he was a main event at the theater in Madison Square Garden, the people there weren't there to see that fight. They were there to see Heather Hardy against Serrano. That's what they were there to see. Not for Devin Haney to beat up on somebody that didn't belong in the ring with him.
He's not ducking Darrie Russell like Darrie Russell says. He's saying that everybody's ducking him. That's the reason that you just gave right now.
So who is Devin Haney ended up fighting now? Gamboa.
Haney can't get the money to fight Darrie Russell doesn't mean that he's ducking him.
Yeah, I think he can get the money to fight Gary Russell. I really feel that he can get that money. I feel that he can get that money. Like, yep, around 1.4.
He made another 1 point something against
JoJo.
I'm from the Bronx. Come on now.
Oh, you really know? Oh, I'm from the Bronx.
I'm from the Bronx.
Yo, that was disrespect right there, yo. Gary is from DC though.
No. One thing from DC, from Capitol Heights.
Capitol Heights, okay. Are you from DC?
Nah, that's JR. JR, he is like
where you from, JR?
I'm really their PR person. What? Yo. That's straight disrespect, son. Yo, son. Okay, so all right. So my question is, who should Gary Russell fight then?
what he should try to do. He should try to raise that up because his excuse was that he had to, his scale wasn't working. And it was 5. They were telling him that he was 5 pounds. You know, I said, I want that scale. I want my scale to lie to me and tell me that I'm 5 pounds. I know that I am. I want to know where he punches out the scale because I want it. Lie to me. Tell me I'm 5 pounds under. Okay?
You mentioned Mark Davis, the guy that was talking shit about
but he's like 200 pounds right now, and he wants to fight
what he said about Gary Russell as it pertains to top-ranked PR person Julie.
Yeah, but I feel like on Mark Davis's end, that was don't bring a female into it. That had nothing to do with nothing. This is y'all. Y'all took you didn't hear me out. This is 2 dudes beefing. Why are you bringing in females into the shit? Like y'all beefing. That has nothing to do with her. That has nothing to do with her.
If she's the R. Kelly of Olympic boxing, then she should be exposed.
hey, the Jeffrey Epstein.
Y'all talk about it between amongst y'all. Don't bring in people.
But that was some juicy alert.
Yeah, man. Yo, that timing was just almost perfect. I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
I was going to take everything that you asked about. Let me be respectful. And let me just see if you saw the comment. I think he's wrong. And the way he reacted, I was like,
Of course he did.
He said, yeah, we ain't talking about him. He ain't nobody. I was like, oh, okay, he saw the damn comment.
Yeah. He was like, when the last time he fought and what happened? Oh, okay. That's all we need to know. Hey, yo, we this 2020, everything is posted on social media.
I don't have nothing to do with it. To me, that was some female city man.
I hope she wasn't banging teenage boys. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, hey.
That's
well.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, all I know is when they when someone posted that picture with her with what was it, Darrell, Ward, Berto, and yo, that was horrible. Oh no! Oh no! Yo.
To me, that was. I don't like that.
Yeah. It was practically tasteful, but I'm a chicken man. I like that.
Hey, if it's like near World Star material, Matt is all over it. Like, shout out to Lord, so listening right now on YouTube, man. Yo. Let's see if that'll work. Hey, yo, speaking of women's boxing, the end of we got that, like I said, the thing with Breakus and McCaskill, and we also got the Katie Taylor Persoon rematch coming up. So is Persoon gonna come back and beat Taylor's ass or not?
but that's the one thing that like gives me a sour taste about boxing because I don't care if she would miraculously make that might happen again, it's not gonna go her way still. Like kind of knocked out before you even have a fight.
Well, she could have knocked out.
Yeah, that's the only way you could do it is take it out of the judge's hand and knock her out. That's the only way you
knock out.
Yeah.
But Katie Taylor, she can move. When she get on her bike, she's hard to catch up with.
Yeah, but the thing was, in the second half of the fight, she was off that bike, and once she was off that bike, Pursuit was able to get to her. So, hey. So yeah, that's what that's what went down in that one. So I'm looking forward to that coming up on the 22nd, and then you got Elena Alvarez versus Joe Smith Jr. On that same day. That's gonna be a cracker right there, man. Somebody get knocked out. I'm sorry. You were like a Romer Angulo fan or something like that, man. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be a little bit of a fight. Yeah, he could crack, but he might get cracked. That's the thing.
That's what I like to see. Okay, listen, I understand boxing is biased, but me, my favorite fight is two big sloppy motherfuckers wailing on each other.
Oh, that's why you felt that Adam Kalnaki and Chris Arreola was Fight of the Year last year.
Oh my God, that was boxing on. Oh my God, it was so good. They broke every punching record, and no one talks about that fight because you know why? Because people hate on PBC so much. They don't want to give credit where credit's due.
No, people don't hate on PBC that much. PBC fanatics they're really on another level. I have to show you, like, please DM me so I can show you the stuff about Facebook. I have to show you because I've really been on the side.
No, we see you on Facebook. We're all in the same Facebook group.
Are you on that Facebook group, King of the Ring?
Yes, I'm in there. But
what is your name on there?
I'll tell you off there. I don't give out the real name.
Yeah, you don't give out. Yeah, yo.
That's why I said DM me. Because
I don't.
These guys have been showing accounts. Like, are you really that obsessed with PBC? It's not that fucking serious. Like, he made a whole other troll page.
Some guy named Carl.
Yes, oh my God. He made a fucking troll page to come at me.
Oh my God.
You really that tough? He said, he was so mad about PBC. He made a troll page to say, you need to be working. You're too old. You're an old ass bitch. You need to be working on your X video content.
Wow.
I'm gonna get it. I got it on my YouTube. So I'm gonna post that shit. I'm gonna post a picture of the everything. I'm getting it up.
I don't post out to respect the women. I can't get like that.
Yes, it's over boxing. Like, it's that serious, my guy? That serious?
It's 2020 and social media. People get offended by anything.
Yeah,
so
I'll go back to anybody. I don't care. I'll go back to personal and shit. Like, it ain't that serious. It's not that serious. And then you have to make a troll page because I ended up blocking too much. So, like, then if I'm making me from a troll page, if you want to be cool, I'm not Carl and John. Cool. Oh, I don't love you. I'm an old ass bitch from the PBC. Really?
It's the way to be. Okay.
No.
Listen, one day.
I'm just a fan of boxing. I don't care if they fight for Nickelodeon. Like, it's not that serious.
Why do boxing
it's not the
say that when everybody has faces in every sport? Why?
Yeah, but no.
That's different.
No.
So you didn't have no favorite fighters? You don't have no favorite fighters?
I can have favorite fighters, but like I'm not gonna put down another fighter on pick up mine. It's not that serious.
No, that's true. That is true.
Like,
that is very
true.
true.
For your man and not the next nigga. That's not that serious.
That's true.
Root for your man. That's it. Root for your man. That's it. Root for your network. If you want to be a network, or do that. You don't have to. That's my take on it.
You know, I completely agree with you. Unless top rank is not making people versus Lomachenko, because then I will not top rank every day of the fucking week. Because how can you make your biggest in-house fight?
I read an article. I don't know how true it is, but that Lomachenko was willing to give up some of his purse to make the fight.
Well, is he going to give up $800,000?
I don't know how much. It just says some of his purse. I don't know.
That's what he needs.
But to me, if you gotta do that, then you about to get your back beat. So I really want to see this fight. If Lomachenko has to give up some of his purse to make this fight happen, then it's gonna be a good fight. And I don't know.
I think it's gonna be good while it lasts. Maybe like the first 4 or 5 rounds.
Like I feel like Teofimo Lopez is a little bit overrated.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Let me tell you. Okay, give me your opinion on the. It wasn't the Kobe fight, but the fight before that. It was a tall fight that you saw. I can't remember. You think? What do you think about the performance?
I thought that Lopez
I felt like he was very exposed. He was very
won
exposed.
10 rounds. He won 10 rounds.
I thought he was down there. I had a phone there.
Here's the problem with boxers then. You remind me of the people that try to say that Tank Davis struggled with Gamboa. Okay? Lopez won every single round. He only lost 2 rounds. He just had to knock him out. He just didn't knock him out. That's all
I don't feel like he looked good in that fight, and that's just my opinion.
Wait, hold on, Matt.
I don't feel like if you're gonna bring up Tank, I don't feel like Tank should be gloating about the Gamboa fight. Gamboa was hurt from the beginning of the fight with a freaking.
How Gamboa got hurt?
Come on.
How Gamboa got hurt? He got hurt when Tank crashed the shit out of him. And he went to the same
his Achilles tendon ruptured. He still went through a fight like that pretty much. Like, are you really using that as an example?
Quick question, Matt. Quick question, Matt.
Wow.
Hey, Matt. Did Nakatani belong in the ring with Teofimo Lopez?
That's it.
Oh boy. Oh goodness, man. Goodness. Hey, if it takes another $800,000, yo, Bob Barrow got to find $800,000, man. He got to find it somewhere. He got it. I know he got it.
Don't pay $100,000 for COVID that don't ever work. Don't ever bother with that. Use that money towards the fight. Use all that money towards the fight. Why can't Bob just eat some ramen noodles for the month?
Hey, the shrimp flavored ramen noodles. Hey, I'm saying, hey, have some of that with some butter and margarine, man. Hey.
You're really like going on like this during the pandemic. It's not the same.
It don't matter.
Money's not
the same. If they could, if they could make something like a Joe Smith versus Elinor Alvarez, if they could still pull off the thing with Jose Ramirez and Victor Postol, they could do something with Vasyl Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. I know they can.
All you gotta do is pay $5.5 million.
All you gotta do.
Wait, I know. Wait, but when you talking about, but here's the thing too, right?
I mean, you already said it when I came on. You're a PVC fanatic, pretty much.
I am.
So you're gonna make this argument. No, you're not. You don't see things black and white. You have an agenda already.
Yeah, but okay, going into his agenda, right? So PBC already has up to 4 fights that are going to be pay-per-view this year. The Charlo fights, the Tank Davis fight, and Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia.
They know maybe they're not.
These the fights are gonna happen. I don't care.
Okay, so what?
Hey, listen, PBC is not gonna give me a bonus if they make their P&L for the year. Okay, so I don't give a fuck if they lose money. I just want to see the fight. I don't care if Bob Arum loses a little bit of money on this fight. He needs to make the fight happen.
Yo, and he has that guarantee that he got to come through on for ESPN. It still holds place.
Exactly.
Their deal with ESPN still holds place, but they have to put up a certain amount of fight cards per year. They haven't said anything about modifying that. You know, that's why they had those 2 fight cards on those weeks up until, a few weeks ago, so that they could fulfill that quota. They still have a good amount of stuff that they got to catch up with this year, so they got to get to work.
So it's not like everything is coming out of this pocket. You got this money plus the budget from ESPN. And if you feel you cannot make money off of it, put it on pay-per-view and let them.
No, I don't. No, I don't. Because you pay for it, but not everybody else. You don't want to pay-per-view, man. You don't want to know. No, because I was waiting for the numbers for yesterday's fights, and they came out. They were, and everybody was crying about
No.
Let me finish. Yesterday there was so many people talking about wait for the numbers for the Fox PBC numbers to come out, and they're gonna be so good. They're gonna be so good because everybody has access to Fox, and they weren't that good. They were not that good at all. And then everybody's quiet. Nobody knows numbers. Nobody want to add. Nobody knows what's 1, 2, 3.
You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because the numbers that you saw are not the real numbers.
The one you saw, not real. Oh, come on.
Here's the thing. No. Let me explain. The numbers that you saw, which are the Fast Nationals that everyone gets from ShowBuzzDaily.com, the numbers that you saw are the Fast Nationals. Those numbers only cover 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. What happened yesterday? The main event didn't start until after 10 p.m. and it ran all the way to 11:15. Those numbers didn't come out yet. So,
oh my God. You was fighting stupid now. Oh my God.
I know the fact. If you go look at the numbers, what do they say? Hour 1 did 700 and something thousand. Hour 2 did 834,000. Notice they didn't say hour 3 because that counts as overrun.
It doesn't matter because those same numbers were given from the other network and everybody was slaughtering them. So keep the same energy is what I'm saying.
Right. You don't have the whole number. You don't have the whole number.
Oh man.
You guys only want to count when it's convenient to you and in your favor. That's what annoys me.
I only count that.
No, you don't count that. You only count what's in your convenience.
I will send you the numbers. I will send you the numbers. Okay. I will send from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay, it doesn't count the overrun. Those numbers will come out on Tuesday.
No, because the people already making excuses because they're saying, oh, there wasn't big names, blah, 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 blah. But it's the same thing. There was no big name fights for top rank, and they didn't give a shit. They still went in. So you gotta keep the same energy. You gotta keep the same. Come on, man.
I think it's like 300,000. Okay.
Yeah, but everybody was saying, oh, but when PBC did it, it's there was no big name fighters. Okay, so, so what is the scale? For you, what is the scale? It has to be big name fighters or what? It's only for your comedians. It's only for your comedians because Twitter does not keep the same energy.
Our one did 711,000. Our two did 834,000. On Tuesday, we will find out what the James Delorme fight did. We don't know that because those numbers are not available yet. The only numbers that were available was the 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. time slot.
The argument that I'm having with you now is no. The argument that I'm having you with now is like the same argument that I have with everybody from PBC fanatics all the time.
I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to come with the facts.
Send it.
That's what we care about. We care about facts, right?
No, you guys care about facts because you guys who win on the network. It don't matter on the network. It's Golden Boy or the Zone. You guys care about those facts. You guys, not me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not that numbers person. I'm not the numbers person, but you guys are always number people until it's not in your favor. Then all of a sudden, like, I don't know what the numbers are. It's like, really? Let me get back to you. You can hold the numbers.
Come on, hey, you were damn right. Better go check those numbers. Oh boy. Hey, I might continue this. I'm gonna go here for a few minutes on the podcast, but I'm gonna continue this thing on YouTube. So I posted the link on Twitter for those who want to join in. So.
The video about the women's boxing, or everybody's like, they're all up at arms. This girl was really pissed off about that.
Hold on, let me find the correct account because you get blocked so much on Twitter.
I don't know which one to do. Right. And I might get suspended today because I was going there on this girl. But she was doing the most. She called me a bitch. And it's like, really, bitch? Like, you a woman? You're supposed to call me a bitch? Because I said, women's boxing is the new wave. She goes, the new wave. Like, yeah, the new wave is what I said. Like, why are you so mad about that to the point where you calling me a bitch?
That was sad. And she had her TV on buckets.
Yeah,
I was like, yo,
like, really want to go there, huh? Like, are you serious?
Wait, what?
So, yeah, I got it.
Please check your box. Now go look. You see where it says Boston DVD? It says 8 to 9, 9 to 10.
Yeah.
Those are the numbers. 711, which is 711,000, 834,000. It does not have the main event, which ran from 10 to 11:15 p.m.
Okay, so what?
That's all I'm trying to tell you. You don't have to.
Like, you see how you have this chart here right now? You gotta do that all the time.
Oh, come on now.
Listen, I don't care about putting the numbers out there. I'm just saying.
No, now you don't care about putting the numbers out there.
I never
Okay. No, I know. But the other people they care about the number when it's in their favor.
But for those celebrating the demise of the numbers ain't come out yet. I just want to tell them, pump your brakes. Just pump your brakes a little bit. You can save your money there for Tuesday. When the actual numbers come out.
I don't care about the numbers. That's not me. I just want the people on YouTube, on Twitter, to keep that same energy because they always care about numbers until the numbers are not in their favor. Then it's, there was no big name. Oh, wait till it comes on fun. It's like, really? Come on, man.
Well, shout out to Al Heyman putting on a great card last night. I was very entertained. And Juarez, he was trash. That is trash. But David Morrell, Young Boy was good. That main event was good. My boy Vito, Voice of the Young People, he was good. That heavyweight block test was good. And of course,
the heavyweight bout was good.
Yeah,
the coffee and Pena fight.
Yeah, that was good. And I love seeing Michael Fox lose since he unfollowed me on Twitter.
You know what? You're being your fans, man. You are the prototype of the TBC fanatic. You are always.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, yo, I'm gonna put a close to this particular podcast or the blog talk session, but we gonna continue this thing on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, all this is being recorded. Yeah, all this is on YouTube. So, but I'm gonna continue to. It'll be on iTunes, Google Podcasts, all of the podcast joints. I ain't scared of you, motherfuckers. You go chicken, you go chicken.
I know to call you out.
Oh man. So yes. Yeah, we out for this particular podcast, but I'm gonna be on YouTube, man. We'll check in again next week. We'll have a double header for the podcast next week because I'm gonna do something I think like late night on Sunday with the guests, so we'll have that. But hey, for this podcast, like I say, man, point of boxing is to hit and not get hit, not to stand and trade. On that note, we out for now. Have a good evening. Yeah, so we are still live on YouTube, man. Have a, I guess an open question and answer session, or talk more about boxing. Like I was saying in the podcast there, we have the stuff that's coming up next week as the boxing schedule picks up a little bit. We got the things that are happening there with Cecilia Braekhus and Jessica McCaskill being the main event over in Tulsa. We also have like fights with Ruslan Fafer coming up and Israel Madrimov. So that's something that we're going to be looking forward to. But then, they're at August 22nd. You're going to have that fight card that's over in Matchroom Fight Camp. Matchroom Fight Camp, Dylan White versus Alexander Povetkin for the interim WBC Heavyweight Championship, and then Katie Taylor versus Delphine Pursuit in a rematch for the undisputed lightweight titles. Martin McCauley will go up against Sergey Kuzmin, and Luther Clay will go up against Chris Congo. So that's going to be a part of it. I'm going to see. We got one of our guests on. Hopefully, we get the other guests on here with us too. Step up, man. She was defending Top Rank hard.
Hey, man, I felt like
what up?
I felt like I was talking to my second baby mama, man.
Oh man, Matt. I don't know if I can hear you, Matt. Let me see. Yo, what's going
Can
on
you
with
hear me
this
now?
thing?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, got y'all good now, man.
Yeah, that was me. But Sergey Kuzman is off the card. I meant to tell you that. So I heard you mentioning he was going to be fighting. He's off the card because I believe that his father was either very ill or passed away, something like that. I think Sergey Kuzman is off the card, and they're looking for another opponent for Martin Bakole.
Well, we'll see if they could find somebody to go into the pledge. I mean, the fight camp to train.
Why is Martin Bakole even allowed to fight, though?
Man, after what he was saying,
listen, he should not be allowed to fight. This man posted child pornography on Twitter and didn't even explain how that shit got on his phone, who sent it to him. Nothing. Like it's like it went away. Like what?
like no explanation whatsoever, man.
How would just go away like that? Where they do that at?
And I don't know how that worked. I have no idea how that works. Come on, man. I mean,
you're a conspiracy theorist, man. Come on, man. What happened to that operation you was talking about that was going on during COVID, where they supposed to round up all the pedophiles? Why are they not?
Maybe that's why it was allowed on Twitter. No, just kidding.
Why are they not rounding up Martin Bakole? What happened to the roundup? What happened to the roundup, JR? I want to know. Why is Martin Bakole walking these streets?
We'll have to do. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that. But apparently, stuff on Twitter and Facebook, some stuff on Twitter and Facebook that shouldn't be allowed is allowed. But
yeah. But Facebook deleted the QAnon group that had like 200,000 members. But child pornography is okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, man. But yeah, man. So yeah, I have to look at the thing there for Kuzman. Oh, the other joint that I didn't touch on, man, that nobody really had told me, but freaking Coppinger seems to be getting a freaking scoops or some shit. I don't know where he got it from, but he says the fight between Tyson and Jones is postponed. But I'm like, come on, man.
Coppinger did not get that scoop. That was reported 3 hours before Coppinger by Ring TV. And Coppinger doesn't like to give people their due credit. Okay, yep. that I knew about that like 3 hours before Coppinger said anything. But I don't really care, to be honest with you, because whenever they fight, I'm going to watch it anyway. I don't give a fuck when. I don't care.
Yeah, but here, if it's in November, then that opens it up for Canelo to have his pay-per-view.
Yeah, good luck with that. But I think that Tyson moving to November is actually going to help that Charlo Derevyanchenko pay-per-view.
Yeah, it does. It does, because that's it was originally scheduled to be 2 weeks before.
Yeah, that's going to be the first one back.
Yeah, yep. So they could, fully push that pay-per-view there, that Charlo doubleheader. So, that's going to be, pretty good there for the Charlo brothers, man.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, those are going to be good fights, man. Derevyanchenko and Charlo versus the Banana Man. Yeah, that's going to be, both of those are going to be good scraps, man. Both of those are going to be good scraps, man. Can't wait for those, man. Even though I call them the big oaks of boxing.
Yo, you a damn hater. You a damn hater. I swear. You are a hater.
Freaking Charles boxing. Oh, man. But yeah, that's gonna be good little double header, man. Like I said, they're gonna have Cowboy Carl on there.
No.
Oh, wait.
I heard that the Cowboy Carl fight is moving to the Tank pay-per-view.
Oh.
And I think Louis Neary is going to be moving to the Charlotte pay-per-view. That's what I heard. I guess we'll see when they announce it officially. But I heard the Cowboy Carl fight is moving to the Tank pay-per-view now.
Ooh, that would be even more enticing to beef up that pay-per-view on September 26th. Yeah, that I'm telling you, like I said from the initial thing, man. I said once they put that card up, I'm like, this is like them cards they used to put up when Mayweather was fighting.
Yep, and the best part about it is that you get like 8 good fights for the price of one pay-per-view. I can deal with that. And you're gonna have 8 good fights. Now I don't know how I'm gonna plan my day. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. But
yeah, how can you get around that?
No, I guess my kids better not bother me at all that day. But
good luck. Good luck.
I hope there's an intermission so I can take a nap. I like to take naps in the middle of the day because that's going to be a lot of boxing.
Yeah. I didn't even really see like how they handle things over at Uncasville, man. I know we were talking about the guy that unfollowed you on Twitter because he was saying some stuff about what they were doing, out there.
I remember.
But I don't know how if like it's handled a little bit different than what they were doing in Vegas. So that was something that I was kind of looking forward to see if there was like any more information about that, but didn't really see anything on it.
Here's what we do know: every fight went through, and there were no positive tests. That's all I care about.
That's it. Like
that's all I care
as long as there was no positive tests, and like
to be honest with you, I don't even care if they tested or not. I don't give a fuck. I just want to see these fights.
See, hey, there goes the whole thing talking about me conspiracies, man. They test positive, who cares?
Don't even test. Who cares?
Don't even test. It's like they had the flu, like Deontay Wilder, right?
Exactly. I'm pretty sure Wilder was more contagious than anybody with COVID. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh man, so yeah, he did have so that's gonna be something there for the that September 26th card is gonna be real good. I don't know what like we knew about the thing here with Sean Porter for the past couple of weeks. But the other thing that they announced, the thing with what was it, Lara?
Lara versus Greg Vendetti, trash. But I like seeing Lara beat people up. I really enjoyed when Lara beat the shit out of Canelo brother. He knocked him the fuck out. I enjoyed that. So I don't mind seeing stuff like that. And then you're gonna have Caleb Truax against Alfredo Angulo on the undercard. I like that.
Yeah, that is man.
I like nice little slap fest. Angulo with his one detached retina, just swinging for the fences. I like that shit, man.
He's swinging for the best.
Yeah, I like that.
He's swinging for hope.
I like stuff like that, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I'm a degenerate.
But the thing about it is, though, man, I'm like, you're gonna have like a fight like that is probably you're gonna have more interest in that fight than the main event. Once again, you have a fight card with Erislandy Lara as the main event, and the undercard fight is better than the main event.
Hey, listen, I don't know what Lara has on Al, but he gets these prime spots. But you know what? I respect Lara because you know what? At some point in his career, a lot of people avoided Lara. Guys like Triple G didn't want to fight him. So I'm happy that boxing still has a place for him to earn some money and beat the shit out of people.
Yeah, that's true. But isn't he like with somebody else now? He used to have some fine ass chick as his wife, but
Yeah.
didn't they separate or something?
Hey, listen, that's how the game goes, man. These hoes ain't loyal. You know, it be like that sometimes, man. You know, love can get somebody else.
Yes.
Get somebody else, man.
Yeah, that's how the game goes sometime, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, look what happened to my man Will. Come on. Look what happened to Will.
Come
You
on
know,
though,
man.
but Will knew what the deal was. He just know like how far that Jada would take it.
Yeah.
That was his problem.
Yeah. He was like, what the fuck?
It's like this wasn't part of our plan. Oh man.
Yeah, but that Fox rollout was trash, man.
Yeah, we
I'm
were
still tripping
man,
over that.
disappointed, man. Mad disappointed with that. I was like, yo, they could have given us something much better than that. Like, I'm like, if you had you already had like the two fights, like I was saying, that we already knew about. The thing with Sean Porter and the thing with Errol Spence. But
Yeah.
come on, y'all had an opportunity to like blow things out of the water, but you give us this, like, come on, man.
It's funny though. Showtime has the best schedule
Yep,
out of all the boxing right now. Showtime has the best schedule.
yep.
So it's
And the
like,
thing is that they, and they didn't really complete their whole cards yet,
no,
so they
no.
still have, those opportunities where they could have some more, good fights on those cards.
And they
And
still
they
got
probably have the
Shields.
budget to do it.
They still got the Shields fight that they didn't announce yet. Um, I think Russell's gonna be on Showtime. I don't think Russell's gonna be on Fox. I feel like Russell and Espinoza are pretty close. So I feel like
Yeah,
he's gonna find his way on the Showtime schedule. So to me,
yeah,
Showtime is where their rumors of their demise were greatly exaggerated. Let's just say that.
yeah. That's the thing. I mean, they got they seem like they got the money to, pull off everything. So
Yeah.
I think that with their budget, what they're going to be able to work out, they're going to still be able to pay most of those guys good money off
Well,
that. But
what really
oh
helped them was Tank, Leo, and the Charlos going to pay per view, because that's going to be a license fee that they don't have to pay now.
right, yeah, yep. It just goes on the thing where they don't really have, yeah, like you said, they don't have to pay the thing for the license fee, but and that gives them more to work around with the budget. So
Yeah.
speaking of the thing with the budget, like you posted something in reference to yesterday's fight card that was on Fox, I think. Um,
Yeah.
it showed like the total purse for that fight card, and that was what, five
Like
hundred and
568,000.
$67,000. I
Yep.
was like, man, like, geez, like that ain't even like that's just over half a mil. I'm like, they put up just about half a mil on that joint. I'm like, dang. Like
Hey,
I
that's a
thought
good
that
deal.
Delorme would get a little bit more than what he got. I mean, he's been involved in fights against higher ranked opponents or higher caliber opponents than Jamal James. So I thought he would have at least said, "Yo, you got to give me a little bit more than this." But 100K, man.
Yo, but how Lennox Allen made 160K?
In comparison to his opponent that made 50,
Yeah, he made
50K.
50K.
Like, man, how did that happen? Yo, who is this? Like, who is this? Who are his members of his team? Because
Word.
they did it well, bro.
160K gonna buy a lot of oxtail. I'm happy for him.
Yo, because that was a good little thing there. It's like, oh, y'all
Yeah, I
gonna
was
put me in
shocked.
there like that?
I was shocked. I was shocked.
No, but what did you think of that fight overall, though?
I thought David Morrell did an excellent job offensively. I thought he was a little careless defensively early. He made
some adjustments mid-fight, but then going for the knockout later on in the fight, I thought that he walked into some shots that was unnecessary. So overall, it was an excellent performance. It really was. The kid really impressed me. I just think he has some things he needs to tighten up defensively and get rid
Yeah.
of a little bit of that youthful exuberance where you just want to go knock out people just like that.
Yeah, it's true, man. That's true. Um, I feel like he has, some things that he gotta, sharpen up a little bit. But he'll be able to get, into that a little bit. Like I said, he's there as like the interim champ, so he'll be, put in contention for one of those major belts there, when they get the chance. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that.
I want to see how soon um, Al could get him that mandatory against Callum Smith.
That would be real interesting if they're able to do something like that, because that would
He's the
say a
weakest of the
lot
champions.
if he could pull that off, man.
Yeah, he's the weakest at 168. So he's there for the taking.
And the thing is like right now, this particular point, damn, you know what though? That don't. I just thought of this, right? So he was there against Lennox Allen, and he gets 50K, right?
Yep.
And he's the WBA interim champ. So he has to pay at least a percentage off that to keep
Yeah,
that belt.
that is true. But I find it hard, like maybe it's just me wishful thinking. I find it hard to believe that he only made 50K for that fight, and his
Yeah, I
opponent made
mean,
160K.
we how we like talk about the things here with a lot of the cars with or the fighters under PBC
Yeah,
that either they get stuff from sponsorships or they have their own things going on too. So
yeah,
whether they have the thing for 50K or whatever they say on the purse, they still have other things that are going on where they could either more money for the fight or something outside of that keeps them going. So yeah, but with him, it's going to be interesting there because you got him as the interim champion. You got, like I said, Callum Smith, the super champ. Of course, you
and
got El Campeon
yeah,
and Fedor,
Canelo.
and Fedor, the UFC guy. I mean,
You know what's funny about Chudinov?
yeah,
He's the WBA gold champ, right?
right.
But you know who used to be the WBA gold champ? Lennox Allen. And he never lost the belt. He was the WBA gold champ up until November of 2019. And then all of a
Mhm.
sudden, they took the belt away from him and gave it to Chudinov without no explanation. So I don't even know
Well,
what
that's
the
the
fuck is going on.
WBA. So
Yeah,
what do you expect?
Lennox Allen. That's why Lennox Allen was ranked #1 because he was the gold champion, and all of a sudden they took the belt from him out of nowhere. It's not like he lost; he's been
Yeah,
undefeated.
he's been undefeated.
So
Yeah,
I
but
don't know what's going on with that.
it's weird, man. Yeah, it's just weird, bro. Like how they handle those things, man.
Yeah, they
It's
did the same thing to Joe Joyce. Remember, he won the gold belt against the Vern,
yep.
and then all of a sudden he wasn't the gold champ anymore. I'm like,
Yeah, now it's
he
Robert
didn't lose.
Hellenius.
Yeah, I'm like, he didn't lose.
he
How
didn't
does this
lose.
gold shit work?
Maybe it's the opposite of the WBC franchise championship
I
or
know, right?
something.
They just take it from you whenever they want
Yeah,
to.
they
Like, what
take
the
it from
hell?
you whatever they want. Maybe instead of like paying per fight, maybe you got to pay a set fee per month in order to keep the belt.
Yeah, that's
Yo,
just very weird.
dog, that's not the gold championship. That's a subscription championship.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But Julian Williams, J Rock said something very interesting about all the titles of the WBA. He said that basically all these titles the WBA have are basically like regional titles. That's basically all they are. So let's not make a big deal out of it. And I kind of agree with him because you
Yeah.
got in the UK, you got the Commonwealth title, the British
Yep.
heavyweight title. So
The
why can't
British
you have that?
Boxing Border
Yeah,
Control title.
exactly. Why can't we have that in the US? Nobody cares about the NABF no more or the WBU or all these other titles.
WBU and the
Yeah,
NABO and
yeah. So I don't mind. I really don't mind all these belts. It is what it is, man. Maybe a casual boxing fan would see somebody with a belt and be like, hey, I want to see that guy fight. He's a champion. I wonder what he's
yeah,
up to. You
yeah.
know?
Let's see what's good with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh
man. Why
man,
boxing fans gotta be so negative about it, man?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Who do you think
Uh,
had the biggest victory of the weekend?
oh, uh, man, it might have been Santa Maria, but I don't know. Like,
Uh,
but
I
because
thought the
I
biggest
don't think the Jamal James thing would kind of like
eh,
move him anywhere, you
no,
know.
no.
So
I thought the biggest victory of the weekend was your boy Daniel Jacobs. That man is touching Angela Simmons. Oh my God. Oh my God.
oh my God. But
Yo, Danny Jacobs.
like Red Man says, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yes, Danny Jacobs, my man. But wasn't he married? Well, whatever. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
say that. Only thing
yeah,
we
but
know is that Danny Jacobs started touching M's, and then all of a sudden Rosier and the wife had to go. I don't know.
yep.
He was like, everything must go. Fucking
Yeah,
Brooklyn dudes, man.
but Angie Simmons though,
I
like
know.
how many relationships she done been in?
Hey, hey, listen, I would like her to be in a relationship with me. I like Angela Simmons. She nice and thick. If you don't have to focus on the face too much, because she looks just like Rev Run. If you could get past that, no, she looks just like him. She looks just like him.
Yeah.
If you could get past that, she is everything you need.
Oh man. Man, I don't know, man. Yo, that's brand new too. Like I'm just looking at an article right now. I was like,
Uh,
yo, they made the announcement that, like they have an announcement on that today. I'm like, oh snap.
Yo, what's funny though is that on the Shade Room they were calling him who's this mystery guy. I'm like, damn, Eddie Hearn is such a bad promoter. Like these motherfuckers don't know who Danny Jacobs is. This man
Like,
fought
come on,
Canelo
yo.
and nobody knows who he is. He's a mystery guy. I was like, Jesus
Like,
Christ.
like that's horrible, man. Like, come on, man. Like we saying, man, if Choice be like he ain't doing too much of a good job with somebody like a well, I think that he ain't doing a good job with Andre, but I think Andre is kind of like partially to blame for that though. But yo, as long as Jacobs got that fight with Canelo, he's straight.
Yeah,
The rest of his career, man.
yeah. He could retire on that. But
Yeah,
honestly, I think Eddie's doing a great job with Andre because he's doing exactly what Andre wants. Andre had a
that's the
chance
thing.
to fight Charlo on Showtime, and what did he say? Is Showtime gonna pay me $1 million to fight Luke Keeler? No, they're not. So you know what? He's happy. He can make his $1 million fighting Luke Keeler. He can make his $1 million fighting Walter Aquaquandande, or whoever is the
Carson Bakwa.
yeah, whatever his name was. That
Oh,
African booty scratcher that he fought. So
oh,
he
come
can
on,
make his
man.
million
Don't be
dollars.
like Dwayne Johnson. It doesn't matter what his name is.
Hey, listen, they getting paid to fight lower level opposition. So if he's
It's
happy,
in the
let him be
budget.
happy.
Hey, I'm like, if it's in the budget, then
Yeah, but
why
he said
not,
he ain't
right?
taking no pay cut. You heard him say that already.
Yep. He did
He
say
said cut
that.
Anthony Joshua. He said don't cut me, cut Anthony Joshua.
Like, cut Anthony Joshua. Okay.
Word,
Yeah, we'll
word.
see who gets cut. Don't
But I
be
don't
surprised
understand.
if you don't see Android until 2021.
I know, right?
Late
But
2021, that is.
how they can't come up with Gary Russell's money to fight Devin Haney though?
I don't know, man.
I don't get it.
That's why I was like, yo, I'm like, first, you already had, Russell was talking with Hearn, over, what was that? Actually, that was around this time last year.
Yeah,
Because I think that was a fight where the card where Devin Haney was the main event, where Gary
yep,
was there. So,
yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, hey, why not, come up with the money for that fight? The only thing I would say is I don't think Eddie wants to make that fight for two reasons. One, because he knows Devin Haney could lose,
Uh-huh.
and because of that, they probably would not be able to have Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia because they really want to make that fight.
I don't think that's gonna happen anyway.
Why? Because Ryan Garcia is going to be a free man?
No, I think Ryan Garcia he's gonna beat the shit out of Luke Campbell, and I think he's gonna fight Tank Davis. Like it's just too much.
Well, if it's not going to be Tank versus Lomachenko, then it'll probably be Tank versus Ryan.
Yeah, because Lennon Ellaby's talking about it a little bit too much for my liking. That tells me that he thinks that it's a real possibility. Because usually Leonard not saying nobody's name because he don't want to fuck up negotiations. He didn't want to put nobody out there.
He doesn't really do that.
Yeah, so he been saying Ryan Garcia versus Tank is gonna happen in 2021. So I think that's gonna happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, because I mean he pretty much put out that Tank was gonna have the pay-per-view against Leo, and that was like before the Gamboa fight when they were talking about that.
Now, what's your best guess on the Campbell Garcia situation? Are they gonna reach a deal before the 11th, or is it gonna go to purse bid?
It's gonna go to purse bid.
I'm praying it goes to purse. Yo, Al Heyman, if you're listening, please send Tom Brown to bid on this fucking fight. Please. I would love for Tom Brown to win negotiation rights to this fight. Or you got to bid, I'd say $2 million gets it done. You bid $2 million, you can win this fight.
Who's the guy that's with freaking Pulev?
Oh, Epic Sports. That's John Wirt.
Yeah,
right?
Epic Sports. What if Epic Sports wins the bid and posts a fight Bulgaria?
That.
Luke Campbell versus Ryan Garcia in Bulgaria.
Yeah, in Sofia.
Oh man!
From what I'm hearing, Ryan Garcia is only asking for $1 million, and they don't want to give him $1 million.
Hey, yeah, that's no problem.
What the fuck is their problem? Like, I don't get it. So to me, bid $2-3 million on this fight, $2.5 million on this fight. It's a 50-50 purse split. He don't got to worry about paying Golden Boy shit because they have no control over the fight. He can get his money, and it'll be all good.
Nope. And the thing is, dude, man, either that or have the fight over in Latvia. Have it in Latvia with
I think that this fight could do a decent pay-per-view. This fight could do a decent pay-per-view in the UK. I'm telling you.
It can, yeah. It's I mean, The fans in the UK would say it's a 50-50 fight. So they be down for it.
Yeah, they think
And
so. I don't think it is,
yeah,
but they think so. And that's all that
I
matters.
know. Yeah, and they'll go over to see the fight. And that's the other thing too. If they're able to see it, so I'll say why not? You know,
Yeah, I
that's
say
why.
make that fight. They got to bid on it, man. If De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn lets this fight go to first bid, that just further tells me that the zone is not going to be in boxing in the U.S. for much longer. This is
The
another one of the
Dread,
needle
man.
movers.
Well, Oscar really ain't doing much anyway. So I mean, all he cares about is Canelo. Yeah, all he cares about is Canelo, and that's pretty much it. Um, and that's going to be the thing about it is, as long as he, is concerned with Canelo Alvarez, then that's basically what he's going to make his money off of. He just gets the money from Canelo, and then it's a trickle down process from there. Um, so that's the thing about it with that whole situation between Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell, because I mean they haven't made that particular fight as of yet. It's most likely going to go over the purse bid there, and I think that somebody else is going to be able to take take advantage of that and bid a higher price than what maybe Golden Boy or Matchroom could put up with, because I think Matchroom is going to be concerned with some other fights there, other than this one. As long as they put the thing there where Luke Campbell is still in contention for a world title, that's all they really care about. But they haven't really done much in reference to, for me, Demetrius Andrade, even though Andrade kind of seems to prefer that. They haven't really done much with Devin Haney, even though we talked about it, earlier. Like I said, I mean, you have Devin Haney going up against Antonio Moran or Zaharu Abdullayev or, other guys, but you can't put them in a position to fight the likes of Ryan Garcia, or a Luke Campbell, or a Vasyl Lomachenko, or anybody like that. So what are you gonna do? Have them go up against like a Richard Comey? Because fighting guys like Alfredo Santiago, 2 months after he fights Zara Abdullayev, I mean that's not gonna cut it. I mean, even though Haney was kind of hungry to be part of that card, like I said, like you can't have someone like the likes of a Devin Haney who has the background that he has going up against guys like Antonio Moran in the MGM National Harbor, and him being in addition to that card when it was supposed to be for Alexander Usyk to be in that card, or Azura Abdullayev being there at the theater at Madison Square Garden when people were there to see Heather Hardy against Amanda Serrano. Like that's not going to cut it. You got to have something, better than that for Devin Haney in order for him to command, the purses that he wants to look for, and like I said, the whole thing between Bill Haney and Gary Russell Jr. that happened, in the previous, a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it just says, there that, they can't necessarily garner the money that is needed in order to make a fight with Gary Russell Jr. I mean, Gary Russell Jr. is, making, able to make millions, in some of his fights. So I'm not, seeing here like what would be the what's the issue there for Devin Haney and his team. Gary Russell is making 1.4 million against Jojo Diaz. So if he's making 1.4 million against the likes of a Jojo Diaz or something like that, 1.1 or something like that against Neon Bayard, then I'm like, you got to be able to come up with something better for him to, kind of, get that fight made. Like wrestlers making $1.5 million a fight. If you're not going to be getting anything near that, then you can't expect him to fight a Devin Haney, So fighting someone like a Yuriorkis Gamboa that got that got taken out by Tank Davis, that's not going to cut it for someone like a Devin Haney when you have everybody else. Up until recently with the thing for Jorge Linares, having those fights. So, and that's a good thing to kind of think about, right? Jorge Linares, had been tested positive with the COVID-19 thing, and what that we were talking about earlier with the likes of those that did test positive for it, but were able to turn around and come back and fight a couple of weeks later. So it's kind of like Devin Haney is now saying, oh, since Jorge Linares is tested positive for COVID-19, Javier Fortuna, you might not have an opponent. So what's going on? What's good? What's up? So maybe you could have Devin Haney kind of fulfilling his mandatory defense, because he was due for that mandatory defense of the WBC lightweight championship, and Javier Fortuna is the number one contender. So my thing is, why not have that particular bout take place? Have Devin Haney, fight Javier Fortuna. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have him fight Javier Fortuna, and then once that happens, then what would be going on there? As far as having that, I would say go ahead, make that fight with Javier Fortuna, and then you win that fight. Then you're open to fighting the winner of Vasyl Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez if that fight takes place. And then that would be for the actual undisputed lightweight championship. Like this fight talking about, this is for practically the undisputed lightweight championship. No, it's not. As Vasyl Lomachenko was made a franchise champion. He's not the WBC champion. He and his team made the move so that he could be franchise champion so that he would not face Devin Haney in that particular instance. So if Vasyl Lomachenko is able to defeat Teofimo Lopez, he should fight Devin Haney, and that would be for the undisputed lightweight championship. That's the thing about it. I mean, I know that people want to have that fight between Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez basically be for that number one and number two spots there, but that's not necessarily that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be for that undisputed lightweight championship. That's the thing, and that's how I pretty much say that this is. So I'm like, if you're not going to have, or you're not going to make moves in order to, have the winner of Lomachenko Lopez fight Devin Haney, if Devin Haney ends up fighting Javier Fortuna and wins, then you really can't have what they say as a undisputed lightweight champion. So I'm kind of like, waiting to see how this thing turns out as far as what happens with Devin Haney, number one, what happens with Javier Fortuna, since Jorge Linares is now pretty much out for the time being of the scheduled August 28th card that was supposed to happen between Linares and Fortuna. So It's like, why not just have Devin Haney fight Javier Fortuna on that particular day? I pretty much just say, make that happen. I mean, you already got Devin Haney there in the gym anyway, so why not have him fight Javier Fortuna? He don't need to fight Yuri Orkis Gamboa. What's the point of him fighting Yuri Orkis Gamboa? I really don't see much of a point of Devin Haney fighting Yuri Orkis Gamboa. Like, Gamboa is is the WBC gonna just say, hey, you know what? We're gonna make Yuri Orkis Gamboa be part of the rankings there in the WBC so that Devin Haney can have a voluntary defense. For what? I'd rather have Devin Haney fighting Richard Comey than Yuri Orkis Gamboa at this particular point. That's just being straight up. I just rather have him, do that. You know what I mean? So I just don't see, what the issue is here at this particular point to where, Devin Haney and Javier Fortuna could go ahead and fight. I think that should be, what it's going to, be there in this particular instance. I'm kind of surprised that this Matt person didn't tell me about something on Twitter in reference to Heather Hardy, because he does have a little thing for Heather Hardy, but there was something that was posted on Twitter there. So that I thought he would have brought up to the attention here. So that was what I wanted to talk about in reference to that thing with the lightweight situation. Going to pretty much, following up with the whole thing with, the Mike Tyson Roy Jones thing. Wanted to, get word from people that are kind of part of putting the event together over on Triller, what it's called, and see how that fight card is going to materialize, because you have the thing there with Tyson versus Jones. You also have the talk about Nate Robinson going up against Jake Paul. So that was going to be part of that fight card as well. So we're going to see how that ends up materializing, if that postponement is confirmed or whatnot, because I haven't really seen anything in reference to either party saying that it was confirmed that it will be, going to be, delayed or something like that, postponed to November 28th, unlike Carpenter's initial report said, or what, was said earlier through Ring Magazine, as it was brought up by Matt, because, Ring Magazine was the one that kind of stated it hours ago before Mike Carpenter posted it on Twitter. So you did have that. So with this overtime session, there is coming up to 3 hours on this particular thing with the simulcast. So you had the podcast there where we had, the, the conversation. There was a good conversation with Coach Darrie Riley there, and also the back and forth talk between Matt and Nika here that was on the podcast. Thanks for everyone that has been tuning in here for this now 3 hour session, live session here through StreamYard. So that's what we got for this week. We'll be back on next week, so be sure to tune in to the podcast next week. Like I said, we'll be planning a doubleheader of sorts for next Sunday, the 16th. So be on the lookout for that, because I already have a guest scheduled for the later session there, and it's going to be scheduled for, I think, 11 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to be on, I would say, from 11 to, I would say, 12 midnight Eastern time for, the next week. So we're going to have something for, I would say, 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And then once again, 11 p.m. to 12 a.m. Next week. So be on the lookout for that. But until then, I will catch y'all later. Peace out.